From a very early stage in music, we become familiar with the major and minor scales. We are taught that the major scales are happy and minor scales are sad. However, if we peel back the face of the minor scale, we will see that within a minor key, we can play the minor scale in three different ways. If you've ever taken a grade in music and looked at the scale books, you will have noticed that within the section about minor scales, you are given the choice between playing the harmonic minor scales and melodic minor scales. But a lesser known minor scale, the third of the trio, is the natural minor scale. My name is Archetype, and these are the three minor scales. So why three? Why do we use them? Well, first let's explore how each scale is constructed. The natural minor is actually the easiest to understand in this sense, because whenever we play in a minor key or a major key, we are given a key signature at the start. This tells us what key we are playing in and what flats or sharps are in that key. Using this key signature, if we are in F minor, we have 4 flats: B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. A natural minor scale is constructed by starting on your F and just simply going up the scale as the key signature tells us to. This creates a sound that is best described as just feeling very naturally minor. And this natural minor scale is actually how we build the other two minor scales. Harmonic and melodic scales require us to alter this natural minor scale. First, let's talk about the harmonic minor scale. This scale is formed simply by raising the 7th degree or the leading note of the scale by a semitone. In the key of F minor, this would give us an E natural instead of an E flat from the natural minor. This creates a familiar minor sound that sounds more dramatic and unresolved than the natural minor. You might also know this scale from your exams, as this is often the more popular choice over the melodic minor. This is because to form the melodic minor, you have to alter 2 notes of the scale, and the scale is also different ascending than descending. To form the melodic minor, you take the natural minor and raise the 6th and 7th degree of the scale by a semitone when going up. On the way down, however, revert back to the natural minor. This creates a sound that feels uplifting, as the end of the scale going up is actually the same as the major scale, and the contrast between the scale going up and down makes the scale very versatile. But why? Why do we have 3 minor scales at our disposal? Well, it's important to understand that scales aren't law in music. In essence, scales are more of a tool designed to help musicians understand and create sounds quickly and safely within a key. And the reason for having 3 minor scales when the major scale is the only main major scale there is that minor keys are much more complex than major keys. Without delving into the theory behind overtones too much, as they deserve a separate video, basically when you sing a note, it consists of many different frequencies in order to make up your unique voice. When you separate out all these frequencies, we are able to see that the main frequency is obviously the note that you're singing, but other frequencies are apparent. Other frequencies, like a major third and perfect fifth, that make up a major chord. This makes the major tonality the most pure form of music there is, and which is why it's heard a lot in church music like hymns, as the acoustics create an amazing sound with the major tonality. The minor tonality, however, is not heard naturally within the frequencies of the human voice, making this tonality much more complex and difficult to compose around. Therefore, much more minor scales are around than major scales, as we need more tools to help us. So why do we use each minor scale? The natural minor scale is used as it is the simplest form of minor. It exists as a tool because it is directly derived from the relative major scale. A relative major is the major key that has the same key signature as its relative minor. F minor is relative to A flat major in this case, and this makes them sound very similar to each other, and so this scale makes a useful starting point when playing with F minor. The harmonic minor found its creation when composers needed a tool to be able to work with the 5 chord or dominant chord in a minor key. When you have a 5 chord, it often resolves to the 1, creating a perfect cadence. This 5 chord is apparent everywhere in music. Every piece will most likely have at least one. The harmonic minor is therefore perfect for this circumstance, as the raised 7th degree matches the major third of the 5 chord, giving it that almost resolved, dramatic feeling before finally hitting that 1 chord. Finally, the melodic minor's use is a bit less common, as it is definitely the most unusual scale of the 3. However, it gets its use because by raising the 6th degree, it avoids the awkward augmented second interval between the 6th and 7th degree as you would hear in the harmonic minor. This makes moving melodically in a passage of music much easier, as the melodic interval between the 6th and 7th degree does not come as a surprise to the listener. It's important to note that these minor scales are not absolute in music. As I said earlier, they are tools. Music is a form of communication in the same way that language is, and just as writers can draw upon many different words to help them convey a particular emotion precisely, so the 3 types of minor scale make up part of a musician's toolkit for doing something similar in composition. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider liking and subscribing. It's completely free and it helps me to get established here on YouTube, as well as commenting any suggestions for future videos. But as always, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.